the inactivity is really angering certain 49ers fans, and they look like they don't know what they're doing right now. Like they've messed up. And if there's one thing teams are good at is deflecting blame and explaining why they didn't mess up. And I've been waiting for the Niners side of the story because right now it looks bad, Jack. And I think recently we've been getting their side of the story. I'm not going to name names, but if you've been watching, if you follow national reporters, local reporters, I think you've seen the same kind of report come from multiple people, and it's basically that the Niners actually it was good, probably didn't have any offers on the table at all. The surgery made it near impossible to trade Jimmy Garoppolo for a variety of reasons, and John Lynch did not mess up. The 49ers did not mess up. Jimmy Garoppolo is not. No one is at fault. It's just that the guy played through an injury. He got hurt. He had to have surgery, and it's all a victim of circumstances. No one did anything wrong. Everyone gets a participation trophy. What do you think, Jack?
Well, I think if you want to say that somebody did something wrong, I think you point to the decision to play Jimmy Garoppolo after the thumb injury. I think that's where you point to a decision that was made. You can't protect guys from injury later on, in the playoffs or whatever. You're going for it. I think the decision to play Garoppolo week 18 and beyond is where the problem, all this stems from. If we want to go back and lay blame, you've got to go back to week 18, and that's where the 49ers are to blame.
You can definitively say that. I'm going to speculate though. I don't buy this. Mm-hmm. I think the 49ers, it seemed like there were a lot of people creating the impression 3-4 weeks ago that there was a market for Jimmy, like journalists locally and nationally, and the Niners weren't doing anything to change that perception. I mean, Mike Florio was basically saying that he heard that Lynch was telling people he had an offer of 2 second-round picks on the table. John Middlecoff heard that he had an offer of 1 second round. I mean, the whispers were out there. It wasn't even whispers. It was like just straight up talking, it sounded like to me. I mean, and that was the impression. And then all of a sudden, things got weird. Deshaun Watson came back. Matt Ryan was on the market. No one saw it coming, and Jimmy Garoppolo didn't get traded. And the Niners are saying, well, actually, technically, we never could have traded him. Like, that's not what I was hearing 3 weeks ago. I think it's kind of convenient to say that now.
It is a little bit of a convenience. I do think you do have to go back and it sounded to me listening to John Lynch when he was at the combine that the 49ers didn't know that this surgery was coming, and which was odd enough to begin with.
Right. You're on the same page on that? Where's the communication?
Right. And this has been an issue between these two parties throughout the year. That's been an issue between
Jimmy called him up like, hey, guess what I just did? 3 guesses.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's
shoulder surgery. Nice.
Yeah. And so I think that there might have been offers for like a second or, whatever. I think it was all contingent upon how these injuries were going to play out. So I give the 49ers a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, but I definitely understand where you're coming from, because I do think it's a little fishy the way that I think that the reports that came out recently definitely were coming out of the 49ers.
It makes them look way not as bad.
Right.
And I can't prove it, but I have a feeling they could have traded Jimmy Garoppolo to the Colts for the 3rd round pick, the pick that the Colts ultimately traded for Matt Ryan. Because again, 3 weeks ago, no one knew Matt Ryan was available. And I think from all reports, there was one team that was interested in Jimmy Garoppolo. It was the Colts. The Niners were holding out for more. They ended up trading that pick. I can't prove it, and I'd love to know for sure, but my hunch tells me that they could have had that 82, pick number 82. That's what I think.
Well, and if that's the case, and they had that on the table and they decided to pass on it, that's a failure.
I would think so. I would think so. So that's how the Niners are spinning it. Of course, the teams don't come out and just say, look, we could have had this 3rd round pick 3 weeks ago. We blew it. Hey, give us a freaking break, all right? We blew it, okay? Teams don't do that. They're like, we got to get our side of the story out there so we don't get ridiculed and then fired one day, because it's all ammunition. Anyway, yeah, I don't buy it. But I'm always curious to see how teams – because these are billion-dollar organizations. They're very good at it. And when the spin comes out, it's always very convincing. I don't buy it.
Yeah, well, there's definitely some spin going on here, I think.